Bookmakers don't care if you win a bet. They care how you bet. Because if you're betting on favorites, following hype, or chasing your losses after a bad day, they love you. You're predictable. You're emotional. And most importantly, you're profitable. For them. Think about how most people bet. A big game comes up. Everyone is talking about the same team. Social media, friends, tipsters, all pointing in one direction. So what do most people do? They follow. They bet on what feels obvious, what feels safe, what feels right. But here's the problem. When everyone is on the same side, the price adjusts, the odds drop, and suddenly you're no longer getting value. You're getting a bad deal, without realizing it. Because it still feels like the smart bet. That's the trap. Now compare that to how professional bettors think. Completely different mindset. They don't ask, who's the better team? They ask, is the price wrong? And that one question changes everything, because it leads them to bets that feel uncomfortable. Betting on the underdog, betting against public opinion, betting on games that nobody is even watching. And psychologically, that's hard. Because your brain is wired for certainty. It wants confirmation. It wants to be on the right side. It wants to win now. But value betting lives in uncertainty. It accepts that you can make the right decision and still lose. Here's the brutal truth. If your bets feel safe, they're probably bad bets. Because the market is most efficient where the most attention is. And your edge, it exists where people are not looking. Where the odds are slightly wrong, where the crowd is not paying attention. That's why value betting looks boring. No big predictions, no guaranteed wins, no locks, just small edges, repeated over and over again. And over time, those edges compound, just like a casino. And that's not a coincidence. Casinos don't win because they're lucky. They win because the math is slightly in their favor. And they repeat that advantage thousands of times. Value bettors do the exact same thing. But here's the reality. Most people will never do this. Not because it's difficult to understand, but because it's difficult to follow. Because it requires discipline. It requires patience. And it requires trusting the process, even when the results don't come immediately. So the real question is not, does value betting work? It's this. Are you disciplined enough to think differently from everyone else and stick with it long enough for the edge to show? Like and subscribe.